With the information presented in the version 1.2 live stream, a lot of players now are deciding if they should be summoning for Luocha, or if they should wait and save their Stellar Jades for Blade and Kafka in 1.2. So in this video, I'm going to go over each of those three characters and give my recommendations as to whether you should save for 1.2, if you should pull for Luocha, and all that fun stuff. So if you're enjoying this kind of content and want to see more, definitely be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. So I think realistically, at the end of the day, if there's a character you want, you should definitely pull for them. But right now, starting with Luocha, I'm going to go over the role that each of these three characters plays, and then what would make me want to recommend you summon for them. So starting with Luocha. Luocha is a healer. He's on the path of abundance, and from the gameplay we've seen of him, he is definitely the best healer in the game right now. His healing is far above Bailu and Natasha from what I've seen, and he does have also passive healing with his field, as well as his ability to use his skill every couple turns without using a skill point, which is definitely really huge. And for players who, are wondering, oh, should I summon for Luocha? I'm pretty much saying the same thing that I said prior to Luocha coming out, which is that if you are someone who's struggling to keep your team alive, and also, Luocha is imaginary, and imaginary isn't the most, accessible right now, although we are getting a free Yukong in 1.2. If you want an imaginary character right now in the moment, and you want someone who can help your account, have more sustainability on your teams, if your healing or shielding isn't that great, then Luocha is a very good pull. He almost might be a must pull in that kind of situation, just because of how much he can heal and how much he can keep your team alive. Because from people I've talked to who have Luocha, I've heard basically no issues of them keeping characters alive in content that their account should be able to beat. So yeah, that is the main thing with Luocha. So I definitely recommend pulling for him if keeping your team alive is a big issue on your account. Then, next up, I'm going to talk about Blade. Now, Blade is a wind element, and he follows the path of destruction. He is a character that is mainly going to focus on sacrificing HP to deal damage, which is definitely a very kind of specific playstyle that some people might not be the most into. I know for me, it depends on the character, depends on what other things they do. I think for Blade, he's not the most appealing to me, but he's not the least appealing either. So I'm not going to be pulling him personally, but because he focuses on sacrificing HP to do more damage, you're going to want to have a good healer around him, which is a really interesting idea for this video in particular, and this sort of thought process of whether or not to pull him, because Luocha, who's the character that is out right before him, is actually a very good partner for him. Just because that Luocha is going to have that passive healing, so Blade won't end up taking too much damage and end up dying. Because, Blade wants to reduce his health, but he also doesn't want to die. So, Luocha being able to keep him afloat while he's sacrificing his own HP is going to be really good. But you can have a similar effect as well with Bailu and Natasha as well for healers. And then also you can have a preservation character, putting up shields for Blade as well. So those are other ways you can have that kind of synergy. But in the end, I really recommend only pulling for Blade if you like the playstyle of sacrificing your HP, and if you can sustain him with other members of your team, whether you have abundance characters or you have some preservation characters like March 7th or Japard or the Fire Trailblazer. I think Fire Trailblazer will probably also have some solid synergy with Blade as well. But yeah. It's mainly a playstyle thing for Blade. If you think it's cool to have a character that sacrifices HP to deal damage, and a character that's not mid like Arlen, this could definitely be a character that'll be good for you. And if you already got Luocha and you're gonna have enough currency to summon right when Blade comes out or throughout the first half of 1.2, I think pairing those two together is going to be very good, and they're going to be a very good core. So those would be the reasons that I would recommend you summon for Blade. Then lastly, for Kafka, who's going to be in the second half of version 1.2, she is a Lightning Nihility character. And her main playstyle is that she focuses on DOT, or damage over time. So she has abilities that will increase the amount of DOT that enemies are taking, or they'll take extra instances of DOT based on when she does her skill. I think her ultimate also has some stuff. I don't have her kit like memorized or in front of me right now, but she does have a lot of increases in her kit for DOT, and then she also can re-trigger her own like shock DOT, which is definitely, once again, it's definitely an interesting playstyle. It's not a playstyle that's really been like too prevalent so far, because there hasn't been like as great for like DOT characters. Like Sampo has good DOT, but he didn't really have like the most like helpful units to be around him. But now with Kafka coming out, as well as Luka, I think DOT is going to become a lot more prevalent in the meta, and I think Silverwolf will also be helpful with that team, seeing as she'll be able to get some debuffs on them, and then also having the DOTs pop up from Kafka if you're running Sampo, and if you're running Luka. All those characters will be able to also get some more damage, and then Kafka just like boosting the wind shear and bleed from Sampo and Luka. So I definitely recommend that people who want to try this new playstyle, or like they are committed to playing the DOT playstyle, I definitely think Kafka's a must pull if you want to go for DOT, because she's going to take your DOT that you already have, like if you have a Sampo built already, and she's going to take it to the next level. And what's great is that if you're someone who's like, oh, I don't have any Eidolons in my Sampo, or I don't even have a Sampo, thankfully Sampo is going to be on Kafka's banner. Same thing with Luka. So if you're summoning on her banner, if you're trying to pull her, chances are you'll also get at least like one Sampo and one Luka. So you'll be able to build that team up once her banner drops, which I think is going to be so nice. I think her banner is really good for DOT. And then, Serval being the third unit, she can also apply shock, which will also be good for Kafka. I think they'll have some kind of synergy together. I think they were supposed to have more synergy, but I know Hoyoverse has been adjusting characters like prior to their release. So, we'll have to see how that unfolds when she comes out, since that is about a month or so away. But yeah, let me know what you all think of these three characters in the comments down below. At the end of the day, for a lot of them, it's pretty much just like a playstyle thing. Like, if you are going to have fun with this type of character, because I think that all three of them are very good and are going to be very good. They just, focus on different things. So it's really just about, for one, what you want as a player, and for two, what's going to benefit your account. Because some players might benefit more from Luocha than Kafka, some might benefit more from Blade. It really just depends on, what you're looking for and what you think is going to be the best for you. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.